Alright, we're back today taking a look at a Clan Nova Cat 60-ton heavy mech called the Vision Quest VQ-1S. And I have to say, I really do enjoy the default configuration here. I haven't made any changes thus far. We have a 300 rated core, which gives us movement at 5 on the move, 8 on the sprint. We have an improved Gauss rifle, which, does 75 damage instead of the Clan Gauss rifle damage profile of 70. But has a +1 accuracy bonus and I believe it's a modified recoil, but it might still be a recoil of 2, and it does ignore an evasion pip as well. So this is significantly improved accuracy for only 1 additional ton, which is pretty nice. I think it even does more stability damage and, well, less heat to fire. The armor on this thing is not maxed out, but it is pretty close. So 140 out of 150 on the CT, 105 out of 110 on each of the front torsos, and a full 100 on each arm. So really not that bad of a mech to just throw in as you get it, but I think there are some improvements we can make, and lots of those improvements come from things like the Streak SRM4s. I'm usually not really a fan of these sorts of things because yes, Streak SRMs are very good for hitting a single point with all of your damage that you'd intended, but let's look at how good of a deal this is. We have 3 tons, 1 slot, 36 overall damage, only 9 heat, but we can do much the same thing if we go over and look at, for example, Clan ER Large Laser, 30 damage, 1 ton, 17 heat. The additional heat can be sunk with, let's say, 2 additional double heat sinks or Clan double heat sinks. So 12, and actually you lose a little bit of heat on that for the same 3, and you don't have to pack ammunition. So really I think this is less efficient in terms of dealing damage than a laser. But in addition to that, you also do get the, well, crit-seeking nature of missiles, so that is something worth noting, but only for, as opposed to something like an SRM-6 or even a small LRM where you're really just pounding in the maximum number of hits that you can get. I'm not so sure I love it. An additional problem is the standard ferrofibers instead of Clan ferrofibers, which we'll fix that right now. And the Clan ferro, I believe, is more effective at dropping weight, and it also includes case. Oh no, it is the same, minus 11%. But since it includes case in the Clan... Oh, wait, that didn't go on there, that's why. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so since it includes case, we can actually pull both of these out. We don't need those anymore. That saves us 1 ton. And I think also, well, I don't want to change the role of this mech terribly. That's not really what the Mechbay episodes are for. We just kind of want to improve a little bit on the base design. And I think one way to do that would be to get rid of the streaks and to go over to our weapons, and let's put a Clan SRM-6 and a Clan SRM-4 on either side. So we lose a little bit of accuracy here, but we go up from basically Streak SRM-8 to SRM-20. So that's quite improved. And each of these, I mean, the SRM-6 is 1.5 tons, the SRM-4 is 1 ton, so the overall SRM-10 up from an SRM-4 still drops us by half a ton. Now, we are burning much hotter here, so if we take a look, the SRM-6 is 16, the SRM-4 is 12, so that's a combined total of 28 heat per side, and the Streak SRM-4s only did 12, so more than double the heat, and that will be a problem that we have to address. And the way that I think we can reasonably address this, we do have to include ammo as well. Okay, let's do this first, and then we'll get to addressing the heat. So let's go into our equip, let's go here and pull in an FCS Artemis 4. And the reason I'm doing this instead of an advanced TC that allows targeting of, well, whichever spot you choose in a precision strike, is because if we go over to our ammunition and we go to our SRM ammunition, Art 4 ammunition has +2 evasion pips ignored, which in my mind really makes up for the loss of the additional accuracy from the Streak SRM. So if you go over here and we look for the Streak SRM-4, +1 accuracy, +1 evasion pips ignored. So against no evasion pips, a Streak will be 1 more accurate than what we have right now with the Artemis 4. Against something with 2 evasion pips or more, our SRMs with Artemis 4 ammunition are actually one more accurate than the Streaks. So, something to keep in mind there. Something else I think we'll do... Okay, we're going to pull off these ER smalls, and we're going to do that because it's a fair bit of heat, and we're making up for that damage with the SRM 6s. Might change my mind on that here, but I think that really does help our heat generation. And the other thing too, if we take a look at the snub-nose PPC, damage fall off, and I really don't get along very well. So if we go over here and we look into other PPC style weapons, or even something like a plasma rifle, which I guess that would be kind of fun, but pretty heavy, we need ammunition. We might be able to do it. Yeah, the damage fall off is really not great. I mean, it begins to fall off at 280 meters. That's less than a standard medium laser, if memory serves. Yeah, so I mean, not my favorite thing. Even if we look at the ERPPC shotgun, this doesn't have damage fall off. Deals 60 damage in 5 different pellets, I suppose. So there's 5 less damage and 10 more heat, but I mean, to avoid damage drop off, one additional weight as well. I'm thinking another PPC is not really what we want to go for here. What we could do is we could go, let's see, how much heat is this? This is 30. We could go for an ER large laser that maintains the 30 heat, but it gets us 2 additional tons, right? So we can pull that off. We'll get a clan ER large, 55 damage, so we lose 10 damage here. But if we go into our internals now, we can get a clan double, and another clan double. And now let's see. So we're shooting at 93, and we're sinking 72. We have 3 tons remaining. So it's a little toasty, but that's okay, because not all of this is meant to fire at the same time, right? And this isn't how I usually build the mechs that I build from scratch, where I want everything firing all the time. It's how I prefer to do things. But the SRMs aren't going to be firing when we're at range for the improved Gauss and the ER large, so we lose all of that heat, some 50 heat, so that'll actually be cool at long range and at close range, and just be a little bit of a problem in that mid-range where we really could be firing with everything at once. And even then, this isn't going to push the red line in a single alpha strike, so I think we're okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a little fancy. Right now we're moving at 5.8. We're going to take a supercharger and put that in there. That gives us an additional 15% heat generation, which isn't great. And that pushes us to 107 heat. So fun fact, by the way, about heat exchangers, which is what you might want to originally go for. You're like, oh, what's the best way to get rid of a plus 15% heat generation? Minus 15%. That makes sense to me. But right now, our heat generation, 10% of it is, 10.7, right? So roughly 11%. And we get 5% per ton. So we're actually getting less than a decrease of 6 per ton out of that heat exchanger. But if we look at our clan double heat sinks, we're getting 6 per ton. So in terms of weight efficiency, exchangers are only efficient if your alpha strike generates more than 120 heat. So we actually get more benefit just by throwing in a couple more heat sinks. Now, I'm not sure this is perfect. I would have liked to have gotten our armor maxed out here. A couple ways we could have done that. Maybe a lighter laser here, throw in some support weapons as well, but I think this is good. The supercharger lets us move 8 on the move, 8 on the sprint. Might not see the point of that, but here it is. Sprints generate more heat than a move does, so it's a nice way to stay cool if you can go on the move instead of on the sprint. Plus, when you sprint, you drop more accuracy than when you do a standard move. So we actually are saving accuracy by moving the same distance that we would otherwise sprint. And let's just take a look real quick at how much weight we would need to drop in order to go to full armor. And that looks like it's pretty much a ton. So we could drop a heatsink. We'd be going a little toastier there than I'd like. We could also switch from an improved Gauss to a clan Gauss. That would save us the additional ton, but I really do want that improved Gauss rifle in there. I think we'll get wonderful use of that extra accuracy. Bit of a quandary. So if we look at our ammunition, our Gauss rifle has 16 rounds. It's probably a little excessive. but 8 is also a little bit short. We fire off 20 SRMs on a single volley from this, so that gives each one of these tons is 5 full volleys. So we don't want just 5, we kind of want 10. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to drop off this double heatsink, and if we look at our heat efficiency, that means that if we don't fire the ER large, we're roughly heat neutral, right? So closer ranges, or mid-range, if we don't want to burn, we just turn off the ER large laser. We lose that 55 damage, but we can keep the one from the improved Gauss rifle, or switch if need be, and we can fire with all of these SRMs and have maximum armor while we're at it. So I think that'll do it for this mech rebuild. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.